Hello, thank you for joining me. Today we're in the Staffordshire town of Cheadle. The town's most famous for that church behind me there. That's known as Pugin's Gem. It's St Giles Catholic Church. It's a beautiful church inside, and when you go anywhere around Cheadle you can see it. It reminds me a bit of Salisbury Cathedral with its tall spire. You can see it from quite a few miles around. So what we're going to do today, we're not going to that church, although we may in the future, and if we do I'll certainly take some pictures if I don't make a video. What we've come to have a look at today, well, you can see we're currently wandering through a residential area of the town. We're just heading in this direction, and it'll make sense in a minute what we're doing when I can tell you the name of the road. I believe there it is. There's a road sign just up here, so I'll tell you what the name of the road is. I expect those of you who watch my videos may have a guess what I might be doing today. Here it is here, Station Road. So you've probably guessed it, we're going to find the old railway station, or should I say the site of the old railway station. So this is Station Road. You can see where the town is because Pugin's Gem neatly shows that. We're now going to wander up here. I think the station must have been just up here. Now the station, it was a branch line that ran from Creswell on the Stoke to Derby line, and it was only about 4 miles long, but it had rather unusual existence. It was built fairly piecemeal. It first opened, or the first section of line, when they started building it in 1888 as far as Todmanstow. That station later got renamed Teen, which we'll see later on, and it went one route via a tunnel. Well, that tunnel was nothing but trouble and it collapsed a couple of times, so they had to build a new route in 1933 to Cheadle. So later on, as we walk along the old railway, what my plan to do is to go to the main, to walk from here to the main line via the new route, but to come back via the old route. So we'll see how that works out. But we're now coming in to the residential development that's built on the site of the railway station, and it has quite an appropriate name. It's called The Sidings, and it leads to Pullman Court, and I'll get onto Pullman's in a minute because there is a connection with that, so it makes perfect sense. So this section of the railway eventually opened in 1901, on New Year's Day 1901, and then it lasted until, well, the service was cut a couple of times when the tunnel collapsed. So then the new route was opened in 1933, and then it closed on the 17th of June, the whole line to passengers, in 1963. So the station would have been somewhere here. It then carried on, it stayed open for freight until about 1978, and after that the odd weed killing train still came up here into the 80s. But in 1985 something quite interesting happened. British Rail Intercity, they decided to run a charter train to here to sort of test the possibility of it becoming a regular service for Alton Towers, because of course by then the Churnit Valley line that goes through Alton Towers had already closed, so they thought that this might work, and I think it would have worked, but nothing came of it, and then the track just remained derelict, and I believe it has now all been lifted. But this is where the station would have been, somewhere round here. It does seem sort of strange when you walk along here to think, you know, in the mid-80s there was a class 47 sitting here with a load of Pullman carriages, and then in previous years there'd have been perhaps a Fairbairn tank with a couple of carriages. Then maybe later on DMUs took over the service. Oh, that's interesting, look. There's something that survives, the station master's house. So the station master's house has survived. Oh, and by the way, this is now Pullman Court. So, as I said, Pullman Court. I wonder how many people who live in Pullman Court know there actually were, probably the only time in the line's existence, Pullman carriages did come right where we're walking now. There's a cat lying in the middle of the road. Doesn't want to be featured by the looks of it, so he's run away. So we're just coming up, so the railway line would have gone off in that direction up there. Now what's I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this bit here, and then we're going to carry on along the old railway line, but we're going to have to do approximately a mile's detour because there's a sort of a path here, a rather dead-end path to there. There's that bit of palisade fence, but then the path along the old railway starts there, so it's a bit silly they've got this fence, which I've now got to do approximately a mile's detour to get to there, where the next video will be. So this video shows you the station site. The next video we're going to look at the railway line itself and talk about the possibilities of whether the railway could ever be reopened and how it could benefit the town, and where they could perhaps have a new station if they don't want to demolish this lot. But I'm glad to see the station master's house has survived. It's good to see. It's always nice when something of the old railway station survives, and it's quite nice, although I'd rather they hadn't built on it, but they have. At least they've given it names that reflects the site's past. So from Pullman Court, about to cross into the sidings, the site of the old railway station in Cheadle. Thank you very much for watching. There's going to be a lot more videos as we explore both the old and the new routes from here to the main lines. Thank you very much for watching from the old railway station at Cheadle, and goodbye.